Hello, welcome back to my channel. I am Bekah Jo, aka the Makeup Tax Lady. Today we are doing eight looks with the Ensley Reign Twisted Tea Party palette. With the release of the Ensley Reign Underland palette and collection, I thought what better time to revisit their previous Alice in Wonderland themed palette. And here we have Twisted Tea Party. In each of the looks that you are about to see, I wanted to make sure that they were looks that I was wearing out of the house. So while this palette is fun and vibrant and colorful, and I love it for that, it can be so dramatic, but it can also be used on the day-to-day. And I wanted to provide you some inspiration, encourage you to use the beautiful stuff that you already have. No shame for purchasing new makeup, but also let's just remember and enjoy and love the things that we do already have. So yeah, all of these looks I wore out of the house, so hopefully it's interesting to see different ways that I use more bold makeup to wear on the day-to-day. This look right here is look number 8, so we will get to putting this look together after I send you off to go watch the other 7. So as you're watching, let me know which look is your favorite or how you would rank them. What are your favorite shades in the palette? How would you pair these shades together? So curious to know. I could totally do another million looks with this palette, but I'm sticking it to 8 so that it's not too incredibly long for the world. Throughout these 8 looks, I am going to use every single shade in here. We have 9 shimmer shades, multi-chrome shades, and so we have 8 looks because for all of the looks except today, look number 8, I wanted each multi-chrome to be the star of the show. So we use all of the mattes as well, but each look kind of features one multi-chrome. Without any further ado, let me send you off to the 7 looks, and then we'll do look number 8 together and summarize with some of my thoughts on the palette. Okay, let us get into this 8th look with the Ensley Reign Twisted Tea Party palette. I have a vision in mind for this look, so let's just see how we can pull it together. As you may have realized by now, there are 2 shimmer shades that I have not yet used. That includes this shade here, which is Hysterical Hatter, and this shade up here, which is Chasing Rabbits. So my plan is to use these 2 shimmer shades in today's look. I want to use this purple shade Delirious Dormouse and this green matte Teacup to complement those 2 shimmer shades today. So we'll be using this one, this one, this one, and this one. To start this look, I'm going to go in with my Sigma E27 and go into Teacup to work on the outer portion of the eye. I have really enjoyed using this palette as a fall time palette, but really just like getting reacquainted, re-inspired by it. I think it's beautiful all time of year, and I don't think we need to limit ourselves to what makeup we're using based on the season. But I think there are beautiful shades in here for the fall time, and there are beautiful shades in here for summer, for spring, for winter, for whatever season you're reaching for. When I was looking back at the footage of the other 7 looks that I've done, I was surprised to see that I haven't used Teacup more. It is such a staple shade in this palette. It's really pretty, and it's such a shade, like it's such a me shade. Like I love greens, and I've really started to love like olivey, murky kind of greens. So it's no lack of liking the shade. It's a matter of it's just not the one that I've reached into the most. Now the next shade that we're going into, Delirious Dormouse, this shade I reach for all the time with this palette. It's such a good muted lavender with a little bit of gray to it, that it really brings a lot of looks together, but it's also a lighter shade. And if you are not new here, you know that lighter to mid-tone mattes tend to be my favorite, which is great because there are plenty of lighter to mid-tone mattes in this palette. There are also obviously a few bright pops as well as a few more subtle, neutral, grungy, grounded, earthy, however you want to call it. So I think that the purple lavender shade, Delirious Dormouse, because it's not a bright purple, but it's purple. So it kind of bridges the gap between the colorful shades and the earthier shades. And I love that. So there are those 2 mattes blended out. So pretty. I also really appreciate that there is a matte black shade in here, because that takes any look that you can amplify it, glam it up, give it the drama that you're looking for. And this is a beautiful black matte black formula, so it's really easy to work with. On the day-to-day, as you notice through these videos, I don't reach for that shade as like a deepening up shade, but as a liner shade for my lids, definitely. So I appreciate it for that without a doubt. I'm going to reach into Hysterical Hatter now. And here is that shade, Hysterical Hatter. I'll do a swatch of a couple of these shades, including this one at the end. I think this shade is so pretty. I think all of the shades in this palette are so pretty. If I haven't said it by now, I specifically made these looks on days that I was leaving the house. Like specifically, I wanted these all to be looks that I was wearing in real life to encourage you to find ways to wear the bold, the color, the multi-chrome in your daily life as well. Next, let's go in with Chasing Rabbits. And here, oh, look at the sparkles on that holochrome. So, so very pretty. So I'm not using any sort of like glitter glue when I'm using these shades. I did the day that I wore the pinky purple Amanita Muscaria shade. I did start off with my Inglot Duraline. I think that's what it is. Duraline. I did start off using that, trying to make the liner, and then I realized I didn't actually need it. It blended itself, it smoothed out, it worked just fine just with a brush. Make sure I have the same impact on both sides here. And yes, I got it under my eye a little bit, but we will smooth things out, just blending those two shims together. Back in with my brush with no extra product on it, smoothing everything out. If I were going for just like a fun look at home, like the Instagram look, I would definitely add like some black, or maybe mix, like you saw me do a couple times, mix Rabbit, the black matte, with Teacup, the green matte that I use, so that it's kind of an in-between color. But I would totally add that to the outer portion of the eye. But I'm not trying to be that dramatic today, so we're gonna stick with this. Going in with a rougher pencil brush, I want to grab Teacup and put that under the outer portion of my eye, and then Delirious Dormouse on the inner portion of my under eye. So with the launch of the Underland palette by Ensley Reign, I thought it would be a fun time to bring back out their existing Alice in Wonderland themed palette, the Twisted Tea Party. And I thought for those of us who have picked this up in the last year or so, what a good reminder, what a fun opportunity to be reminded that you have a beautiful palette in your collection. And I think that I don't have the Underland palette in my hands, but I imagine that the two will pair well together. And plus they're both like a similar theme, so how fun is that? I'm taking just a bit of setting powder on my brush and using that where I see the fallout to help remove it. I'm going to skip the waterline eyeliner today. So I want to go in with my Ilia mascara. For blush, I want to go into my Adept and Amy Loves blush palette. I'm going to use mostly Mishka, but we may dip into Cupid a little bit as well. What blushes have you guys been loving lately? I've been on a kick for some reason, not even just like, I don't know, I want like cool toned blushes, which is never, historically has not been like my go-to. Like, not that I dislike cool tone blushes, but they're not like what I'm most gravitating toward. But lately it's been like pink and wanting cool tone pink, and I love this blush palette for that purpose. I talk about this blush palette a lot. I think both of these shades are beautiful, but this one is just that gorgeous, true pink, leaning cool tone, at least on my skin tone. And I think it's such a great shade. I did pick up Kosas, my first ever purchase or trying anything from Kosas, and I don't have it in my hands just yet. But Kosas has a little mini set, a set of 3 of their mini blushes. I think it's the Blush is Life formula. It's their baked formula. And they have a set of mini size that you get 3 of their shades, and they're like predetermined shades. You don't get to pick which shades you want, but I thought, I'm never gonna go through a full blush at this point in my makeup life, so a miniature blush sounds perfect. And I'm wanting to try the formula, so to get 3 different shades for basically like the price of what one would normally be, I was intrigued. So they were also having, I think, a 20% off sale when I made the purchase. So I also picked up one of their concealers to try. So like I said, those are not in just yet, but I am excited to get those in my hands and to play with them. I do have on Lip Topper from Sydney Grace. This is the shade Trisha. It's just a real subtle pinky lip gloss, and I think it is very pretty for this look. So here is the final look for today. Look number 8 with the Ensley Reign Twisted Tea Party palette. Thank you so much for joining me on the journey through this palette. Like I said, I wanted to make sure that all of the looks in this video were looks that I actually wore in my real life. I think that because this can be almost intimidating as a colorful, multi-chromatic palette, that I wanted to remind you that we can make these shades work on the day-to-day. And part of how I made that work was every day except today, picking one multi-chrome to focus on. I think that picking one multi-chrome really provides, it really lets that shade shine. And I think it makes things less complicated too. Like, yes, can you pair 7 of these shades together into a look? Absolutely. And it would be really pretty. But you can also really just like cut out the complication, get a matte, get a shimmer, get just a shimmer, do, you know, just keep it simple. It doesn't have to be a 7 shadow look every single time. And especially if you've spent your hard-earned money on a beautiful palette like this, like, don't forget to use it. Don't forget to make good use out of it. Let me do a couple of those swatches I was talking about. Revisiting this palette really made me think about it a little bit more. And you know just how much I love this shade Elixir. I'll swatch that one. I also, the shade Mind Melt up here is a really cool shade. And then I want to swatch these two also. Drink Me was the first shimmer shade that I used from this palette, and I didn't realize just how pretty it was. Like, it looks kind of standard in the pan to me, but that one surprised me. The one that we used today, Hysterical Hatter, it has a flip to it that I thought was similar to some of my other shades from Ensley Reign. And then I just took a minute and just looked at it, and it's cool. So let me show you these swatches. Okay, so here on my fingers, starting over here with my pointer finger, we have Elixir, Mind Melt, Drink Me, and Hysterical Hatter. So Elixir has like the smoothest formula. Let me also remind you at this juncture that I have a video with swatching every single one of these shades on my face. I have a couple other videos with this palette. I'll make sure they're all linked below, and I also have an Ensley Reign playlist, so please feel free to check out all of those videos. Okay, here we are. We've got, on the bottom is Elixir, so it's just that like sheer base with the flash of blue-green, so cool. Mind Melt, which has a really interesting like blue, cool-toned purple base to it, but it's not like a super deep base, it's a mid-tone base with a really pretty purple shift on it. Drink Me, I don't know how well you'll be able to see it here, but it's actually, it's a little bit pinkier of a purple shade, and it's got a very subtle but very cool gold shift to it. And then at the top there we have Hysterical Hatter. And that one, how do I explain? I don't know that you can see that one as well too, but this one, it's not like a sheer base, but it's not the most opaque base either. So it's a whole lot more wearable than I tend to think of it. I tend to think of it as just like this solid gold shade, which is pretty in its own right, but it really does like have this shift, have this transition to it. And out of the light over here, it's got even like a lime green to it. It's so cool. Okay, so that's what I have for today's video with all of the looks in this video, revisiting my Ensley Reign Twisted Tea Party palette. I have had so much fun playing with this palette. I hope that you enjoyed this video. I hope that you find inspiration from it, whether you have the Twisted Tea Party palette or any other palette in your collection, or maybe you're just listening to some background noise. And I'm so happy that I could be a little part of your day today. If you have any thoughts on the Twisted Tea Party palette, on the Underland palette collection, on Ensley Reign in general, I would love to hear from you in the comment section. Please let me know which of your looks in this video was your favorite. I'm very curious. Oh, and I painted my nails with some of the Sydney Grace nail polishes, and on this finger, I have one of the multi-chrome nail polishes on top, and I love that shade so much. That looks so cool. I'm not a professional nail person. I just prefer to paint my own nails, and I like to keep them real simple and real short, as you can see. But anyway, I just thought that was cool, and in a video about multichromes, why not pull out the multichrome nail polish? Okay, I think that is everything that I have for today's video. If you liked the video, please give it a like. If you have any thoughts, comments, or questions, please add them to the comment section below. If you are new to my channel, I'd love it if you'd consider becoming a subscriber. And I thank you so much for being here, and I hope to see you in the next one.